I didn't realize I had disappeared until someone else saw me. Not the version my husband knew. Not the one in family photos, smiling too wide, eyes slightly tired. No, he saw something I thought was gone, and that's what scared me. Because the moment I felt it again, I knew I couldn't go back. Marriage didn't break overnight. It fades, quietly, like a room losing light at sunset, so slowly you don't notice when it's gone. Jason and I used to laugh over nothing. We used to touch without thinking. We used to look at each other like we were still discovering something new. Now, we passed each other like coworkers. Did you pay the bill? What's for dinner? Don't forget the appointment. That was love now. Functional, predictable, safe, dead. I don't remember exactly when I stopped being me, but I remember the first time someone noticed. It happened on a Tuesday, of all days. Rain tapping against the cafe window, laptop open, coffee untouched. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I had an hour to kill before picking up groceries. That's when he sat across from me. Not directly across, diagonal, close enough to notice, too close to ignore. You always look like you're about to leave. I blinked. Sorry? He smiled, but not in a charming way, in a knowing way. Like you're here physically, but your mind's already somewhere else. I stared at him, because he was right, and I hated that he was right. His name was Daniel. He didn't ask for my number, didn't flirt, didn't try to impress me. He just observed. You used to be louder, he said casually. I laughed, nervously. You don't know me. No, he said, but I know that look. That's when something shifted, because no one had looked at me like that in years, not even my husband. I left that cafe unsettled, not excited, not flattered, just disturbed. Because he had seen something I had buried, and I didn't know if I wanted it back. But the next week, I went back. I told myself it was coincidence. Same cafe, same time, same seat. But deep down, I knew. I was hoping he'd be there. And he was. Already sitting, already watching, like he expected me. You came back, he said, like it wasn't a question. I rolled my eyes, trying to sound normal. I like the coffee. He smirked. You didn't drink it last time. That annoyed me, but not enough to leave. That was the problem. We didn't exchange numbers. We didn't plan anything, but every Tuesday we ended up there, talking. Not about big things, not at first, just small observations. About people, about habits, about how we pretend to be okay. You're careful with your words, he said once. So? So it means you're hiding something. I laughed it off, but inside, something tightened. No one had ever said things like that to me. Jason used to ask how my day was. Daniel asked who I was underneath it. Weeks passed. Nothing inappropriate happened. No lines crossed. But something was building. Quietly. Dangerously. Then one day he asked, Do you remember the last time you felt something real? I froze, because I couldn't answer. That night I lay next to my husband. He was scrolling his phone. I stared at the ceiling, and for the first time in years, I felt restless, like something inside me was waking up, and it didn't like where it was. Are you okay? Jason asked. Yeah, I said quickly, too quickly. But I wasn't. Because the next Tuesday, I dressed differently. Nothing dramatic, just intentional. And that terrified me. Daniel noticed immediately. You're trying today. I felt my face heat up. I always try. He tilted his head. No, today you're choosing. Choosing. That word stuck, because he was right again. Something was changing. Not outside, inside. I started paying attention to things I had ignored for years. The way my skin felt under warm water. The way music hit differently when I actually listened. The way silence wasn't empty anymore. It was full of questions. "What are you afraid of?" Daniel asked one afternoon. "Nothing," I said, too fast. He smiled softly. "Losing control." That word hit harder than anything else, because control was all I had. Routine, stability, predictability, my entire life was built on it. "And if you let go?" he asked. I looked at him, really looked. "Then everything changes." Exactly. That was the moment. The moment I realized this wasn't harmless anymore, because I didn't want it to stop. And that scared me more than anything. That night, Jason kissed me. Soft, familiar, routine. And for the first time, I felt nothing. Not comfort, not warmth, just absence. And that's when the guilt hit, hard, because something had already shifted, and I didn't know how to undo it. I tried to stop going. Really, I skipped a Tuesday, then another. Told myself it was over, that I had imagined it all. But the truth? I couldn't stop thinking about him. Not Daniel. What he represented. A version of me I thought was gone. The third week, I went back, and he wasn't there. Something dropped in my chest, hard, unexpected. I waited. 10 minutes, 20, an hour, nothing. That's when I realized something worse than guilt. Withdrawal. I didn't miss him. I missed how I felt around him. Alive. I stood up to leave, and then, "You look disappointed." I turned. He was standing behind me. I exhaled, too relieved, and he noticed. "Interesting," he said quietly. "What?" "You came back." We sat, closer this time, closer than before. "You ran," he said. "I needed space." "No," he replied. "You got scared." He wasn't wrong, again. "And now?" he asked. I hesitated, because the answer felt dangerous. "I don't know." He leaned in slightly, not touching, but close enough to feel it. "That's the point." And that's when everything crossed a line. Not physically, something deeper, because I didn't pull away. After that day, things changed fast, too fast. We started walking after coffee. No destination, just movement. Conversations got deeper, more personal. "What did you want before all this?" he asked one evening. I stared ahead. "I don't remember." He looked at me. "That's not true." And suddenly, I did. Dreams I had buried, versions of myself I had silenced. "You didn't disappear," he said. "You just got quieter." That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was loud, too loud, because for the first time in years, I wanted something. Not stability, not routine, something more. Jason noticed. "You've been distant," he said. I forced a smile. "I'm just tired." But he knew, not everything, but enough. And that made everything worse. The next time I saw Daniel, something shifted again, different. He wasn't smiling. "What's wrong?" I asked. He hesitated, then said, "You're not the only one changing." And that's when I realized this wasn't one-sided anymore. I think we should stop. The words came out before I could think. He didn't react, didn't argue, just nodded slowly. Probably. That hurt more than I expected. Probably? I repeated. He looked at me carefully. You don't want to lose what you have. I almost said yes, almost. But something stopped me, because the truth, I had already lost it. What if I already did? I whispered. Silence, heavy, real. He stepped closer, closer than ever before. No touching, but this time it felt louder. You didn't lose yourself, he said softly. You're just meeting her again. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about him. It never was. It was about me. I went home that night, looked at Jason, really looked. And for the first time, I saw the distance clearly. Not just his, mine. Are you happy? I asked him. He frowned. Of course. Really? He hesitated, just for a second, but it was enough. That's when I understood. We had both disappeared, just in different ways. I didn't leave him that night, or the next, because this wasn't a simple ending. It was something more complicated. But I did stop going to the cafe, not because I was over it, because I wasn't, but because I finally understood something. Daniel didn't teach me how to love him. He taught me how to feel again. And once you feel something real, you can't pretend you don't. So now I live with a question every day. Do I go back to the life I built, or the person I almost forgot? And the worst part? I still don't know the answer.